everyone. This is my 99 Dodge Caravan, and I've been doing some work on it, so I figured, I'm going to change the transmission fluid, so I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to put a new filter gasket on it and make it look good again. The transmission shifts perfect, but since I'm already doing some work on it and I have easy access to the bottom of the transmission, we're going to go ahead and change the fluid and put a new gasket and filter on, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Alright, now for video purposes, I've already gone ahead and loosened up some of the bolts there. They are 10mm bolts, and there's 14 of them. And I've got the pan loose, and you can see it is dripping. I've got a pail there to catch all the fluid. So what I'm going to do now is go under here and get my little cordless drill, little tool, and we'll start taking the rest of these screws out. Now, it can get kind of messy, so if you don't like transmission fluid getting all over you, this is probably not the job for you, just so you know. So we'll go ahead and finish taking these out. This is a rebuilt transmission. It's got about 60,000 miles on it, and it's just a good idea to go ahead and change the fluid since I've already had the transmission out, and I put a new remain seal in the in the engine just a few days ago. So we'll let that drain out a little bit more. Now I got one bolt left on this side, and what I'll do is take my hand, hold the pan up, and go ahead and take that other bolt out, and slowly drop the pan down and drain the rest of the fluid out into the bucket that I got set up. So I'll hold the pan up a little bit, take the last bolt out, now slowly drop the pan down, and let the rest of the fluid drain out. Say bye-bye, fluid. Not too hard to do. As long as your car's up in the air, it makes it really easy. Okay, now stop. And there is the transmission pan, and now what we want to do is go in here and look and make sure we don't see any metal or anything floating around that's not supposed to be here. And there's a magnet right here that usually catches all that stuff, so you want to check it. And the magnet looks pretty good. Just a little bit of maybe some dirt in there, nothing major from when I was working on it earlier. But I don't see any metal. We don't want metal, or we don't want no chunks of metal or metal flakes. That's a bad sign. But if your transmission fluid is just a little dirty, discolored, a little darker, that's normal. And like I said, if your magnet doesn't have anything major on it, then just go ahead and clean up your pan. Get the old gasket material off on here and on the bottom of the transmission, and we'll start putting it back together. But first, we got to go ahead and pull the filter off. Okay, well, this filter just pulls off. So what I got is a little screwdriver, and we'll just kind of slowly let it drop down, and there's going to be more transmission fluid that comes out. So be prepared. Sometimes, well, we did pretty good. And there's a little O-ring on this filter. Sometimes it gets lodged up in here, but mine fell in the pan of transmission fluid here. It just fell in there, but my new filter should have a new one. Just make sure you put this O-ring on when you put this new filter back on. And now we'll go ahead and start pulling this old gasket material off, and we'll clean up around the bottom of this transmission, get all this old gasket material off so we can put our new gasket on, so we don't have any more leaks. Okay, now I've got all the gasket material cleaned off on the transmission, so make sure you get it nice and clean so that new gasket will seal really good and we won't have any transmission leaks. And secondly, now we've got all the old gasket material off on the bottom of the pan. We just simply put it off to the side. We got the magnet clean. We've wiped it out. We look good. The seal should seal really nicely, and we should not have any leaks. 3, 2, 1. And now we install our filter, and don't forget the O-ring that it comes with. We need to put that on. 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. And now we put our O-ring on the filter and we simply take the filter. We align the holes. There are two little tabs here and here on this filter. And there are two tabs on the bottom of the transmission that have holes right here and right there. These little ears will go up into the transmission to help secure it. And with the new gasket, it says if you're not going to use this new gasket, you must apply 1/8 of RTV sealant on your pan. But obviously, if we get a new gasket, that's no problem. If we use this gasket, we do not use any RTV sealant or silicone whatsoever. This has to go on dry. In order to get the new gasket on with the bolt holes lined up and everything, I typically just stick a couple bolts in. They usually stay in pretty good. I'll put at least 3 in it, and that way when I put the pan on the bottom of the transmission, the gasket will stay pretty much in place, and I should be able to line the rest of the bolt holes up with the gasket as I am putting it on the bottom of the transmission. Okay, now we'll go ahead and put this on the bottom of the transmission. It should be pretty easy. Make sure you got the right end up in the way it wants to be. Should go like this. And I just simply start the bolts with my fingers. Always start these with your fingers, because if you use a socket and you get in a hurry, it's very easy to cross thread these. You start every one of them with your fingers, because trust me, it will pay for itself. It may be a little longer, a little more work, but it's well worth it because you won't strip any of your bolts. Alright, and at this point, all I have to do is go ahead and put all my bolts in and torque them down to 12 pounds. And then, all we got to do after that is put transmission fluid in, start it up, check the level, and check it for leaks. Okay, I got all my bolts in. They're nice and tight. I torqued every bolt down to 12 pounds. And about a week after you drive it, it's always good to come back in there and check, because sometimes the bolts come loose just a little bit. You might have to re-torque them just to make sure that seals 100%. And after you do all that, you should have absolutely no leaks. And now the only thing I have to do is take this to the recycling center. It's not good to reuse it. You never want to reuse your old fluid. And I'll probably have to put about 4, maybe 5 quarts in it. If you add the filter and the gasket and the new fluid, it'll be about $45 to change the fluid. But that is a bargain. If you take it somewhere else and let them do it, it would probably be $100 to $200. So pretty happy I got this done tonight. So all we got to do now is fill it up with fluid and drive it, let it warm up, and we'll check the level, and we are done. And that is how you change your transmission fluid, filter, and gasket on a 99 Dodge Caravan. And this one does have the electronic solenoid pack on it, and some of these models do not, so you got to be careful when you buy that gasket. Some have different bolt patterns. Some are 14, some are 21, so just verify that before you change it. And now your car, if it's on the level, all you have to do is check your fluid level and simply start the car up and check the fluid level. And as you can see, it is pretty much right where it should be, between the two dots where it says hot. And that's all there is to it. So if you're going to change your fluid level, your filter, and gasket, that's how you do it. And hopefully this will save you some money and time, because we all like to save a little money, right? Certainly I do. So hopefully this helps you out. Thanks for watching the video, and like it, and give me some feedback. Until next time, later.